looking at 1.5 today, so everything that we've been doing is revolving around equations, yeah? So now we're just moving into rewriting equations, and then also we're looking at some formulas. So we rewrite equations to like figure out what it is that we need to figure out, right? So we've been doing this. It's just going to look a little bit different now than what we are used to. So, couple vocabulary words. A literal equation is just an equation that has two or more variables. Equation with two or more variables. So, the easiest example of this that I can think of is just the equation of a line, right? If we're looking at the equation of a line, how many variables do we have? Lines are y equals, right, something times x plus something else, right? So there's two variables. The equation of a line would be a literal equation. Second one is a formula. You all know what formulas are, like on the whole, right? We talk about like formula for area and for circumference and whatever else. But generally speaking, what a formula is you are looking at the relationship between one variable to all of the other ones. I always have to check how the book says it because I can never say it as good as they. It's how one variable is related to the other ones. So a formula is how one variable relates to the others. Oh. Okay, stop. How one variable relates to the others. So a formula is a type of literal equation. So the literal equation is like the umbrella term. Okay, it goes over everything. A formula is a type of literal equation. It goes underneath it. So they're related to each other. Okay, so what this looks like. The area of a parallelogram is area equals base times height. B is the base, and h is the height. So, given the values that were here, plug those into the formula, and then we're solving for b, not for h. Because we are told what h is, we're not told what b is. So I know my formula is a equals bh. My area is what? 30 equals, I don't know my base, so b times what? What's my height? 5. How do I figure out what my b is? Divide by 5, right? So then I've just got b equals 6 inches. That's how long my base is, base times height. Okay, simple, right? We've done this. Now, what I want to do is I want to solve the equation again, but this time I want to solve for h, for the height, without plugging any numbers into it, okay? So my formula is this. It's a equals bh, base times height. I want to solve for the letter h. How do I solve for the letter h? I want h by itself. By? You just listed all of the letters in the equation. What do I need to divide by?
B.
I need to divide by b, both sides. So h, my height, equals area divided by b, my base. Now I'm going to stop here. This is what it was asking me for. It's my formula in terms of h. I'm looking for h. All right, we're looking at some examples. Today's going to be a big example day, because this stuff can be kind of tricky. Solve the literal equation 4x plus 7y equals 12 for y. Now, what I want, the end of my, like when I know that I will be finished, is when I end up with something that looks like this. Y equals something. I want to isolate y by itself, and I want it to equal whatever it is on the right-hand side. This is confusing to people today because so often what we're looking for is a specific answer, right? I'm looking for, a lot of times it's like, well, y equals 7 or y equals 1/2. But now we're going to have y equaling an equation, not just a number. Okay, I have more than one variable involved. So I've got 4x minus 7y equals 12. What do you think my first step would be to get y on its own? What else do I need to get rid of on the left-hand side? 4x. How do I get rid of my 4x? I'm going to subtract it from both sides. Exactly. So then I just have negative 7y equals 12 minus 4x. Am I done? No, I'm not done. What else do I need to do?
I have to figure out why.
Say it louder.
Divide by -7.
Divide by negative 7.
7,
Okay. Can I just divide one of these numbers by negative 7 on the right-hand side? No, I need to divide the whole thing by negative 7. Okay, so then I'm just left with y equals 12 minus 4x divided by negative 7. Now am I done?
No.
I am done. This is my answer. Now, you could write this, y equals negative 12 over 7 minus 4 over 7x. I could distribute or like divide this up, but this is the same thing as just dividing the whole thing by negative 7. So I just like to divide the whole thing by negative 7, because then I don't have to deal with fractions as much. Okay, this is where it gets trickier. I need to solve the literal equation 3w plus 4wp equals a. Lots of letters in there. So many letters. Okay? What I need to do is something called factoring. Do you know what factoring is? You worked on factoring before. I've heard a lot of no's in this department today. So if it doesn't sound familiar to you, that's okay. When I'm factoring something, I'm looking for something that's common in all of my terms. It means all of my terms have it. If all of my terms have it, I can pull it outside of the equation. So this is what this looks like. I've got 3w plus 4wp on my left-hand side. What's the same in both of these equations, or both of these terms? There's a w in both of them. So I can pull the w out. Okay, so if I pull the w out, it's going to be like this. W, whoops. And then what's left on the inside? I've got 3 plus 4p equals a. Which makes sense, right? Because if I were going to like solve this, it would make sense for me to distribute this w into both areas, right? And so when I do that, when I distribute my w, into both terms, I get back to this equation, right? It's the same thing, I just pulled my W out. Okay, I have one more step, and then I'm done solving this flat problem. What's my last step? I do need to divide something. Close. This whole thing, 3 plus 4p, is one piece. It's one big piece. Okay, it has parentheses around it, it's grouped together. So what I can do then is just divide both sides by 3 plus 4p. So these cancel out. I'm left with W equals A divided by 3 plus 4p. I'm done. That's it. I can't simplify it anymore. Okay. Formula for surface area of a prism is S equals 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. More letters. And I need to solve for L. So, look at the right-hand side of our equation. We're going to ignore the 2 for right now, because all of the terms have 2's. I know that, but we're just going to leave it there. Do they have anything else in common, all three of them?
They all have W and L and 2
They don't, right? What am I trying to solve for?
L.
Does more than one of them have an L?
Yes.
Yes. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this last term because it's the only one that doesn't have an L in it. How do I get rid of that last term?
Subtract it by.
Exactly. I'm going to subtract 2WH from both sides. So now I've got S minus 2WH equals 2LH plus 2L. Oh, I mixed those up, didn't I? 2LW and 2LH. When I'm doing this, I do my L's in a cursive L form because if I were to just do an L like this, what might you think that is? A 1. Okay, so when you're dealing with an L in particular, I would strongly encourage you to either do a cursive L like this or make it a capital L so that you know it's not the number 1. All right. Now what can I pull out on my right-hand side? I'm still going to ignore the 2 for right now. What is common between these two? L, right? And that's what I want. So I'm going to pull an L out. And I've got S minus 2WH still on this side. I'm going to pull out my L. What is left then inside of my parentheses when I pull an L out?
The 2.
2W plus 2H. Okay, I have one more step. What's my final step? Divide what? Yep, I'm going to divide both sides by 2W plus 2H. So now, if I can rearrange this, I've got L equals S minus 2WH all over 2W plus 2H. Done. Finished. Does it feel weird to stop there? Do you want to keep going? I know it feels weird. You don't want to keep because you don't want to do math, right? You want to, yeah, I get that. but it doesn't really quite feel natural, so just stop there, right? But you do. You just stop. I can't do anything else. Can't combine anything else. Done. Okay. On a July day, the temperature at the peak of Mount Everest is negative 16 degrees Celsius. Is that temperature warmer or colder than 0 degrees Fahrenheit? We are going to use the formula C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. C is Celsius, F is Fahrenheit. We need to rearrange this equation though because I'm solving for F. I need to figure out what is that temperature in Fahrenheit. So, this is where you might not like me that much. And here's why. When you see this, 5/9 times F minus 32, what do you want to do to it? You want to distribute. Do not distribute. Don't do it. Here's the thing. This is the only thing on my right-hand side, right? Is just this part. So, what I can do to it, instead of distributing it, is I can, what is this doing? 5/9 parentheses F minus 32. What am I doing? I'm multiplying, right? How do I undo multiplication? Divide. So, I can divide both sides by 5/9 to get rid of that fraction. I'm going to rewrite the left-hand side, though, like this. Why am I doing that? Keep, change, flip. Right? I kept my C, changed it to multiplication, flipped my fraction. That equals Fahrenheit minus 32.
And I need to divide again.
Not yet. I need to get my Fahrenheit by itself, my F by itself.
Oh.
How can I get my F by itself? Add 32 to both sides. So now I have Fahrenheit equals 9/5 times Celsius plus 32. Now I just have to plug it in. Now I plug it in. I'm done. I'm done rearranging. Now I can just put my numbers in. So Fahrenheit equals 9/5 times negative 16 plus 32. You'll need a calculator. Unless you're really good at doing stuff like this in your head, which I'm not, so. I still have my calculator. What'd you get? Has anyone gotten anything yet? Austin, did you get something?
Yeah, 3 1/5.
Yes. But I'm just gonna write 3.2. But yeah. Degrees Fahrenheit. So, let's see if you can pass the test today, because most of my classes have not.
You're taking a test on this?
No. It's just a verbal test. Is this warmer or colder than 0 degrees Fahrenheit?
Colder. It's colder.
It's warmer.
Warmer. Warm 0 degrees.
Oh. Okay. You didn't all pass. Oh. Okay. If it was colder than 0 degrees Fahrenheit, would it be a positive or negative number?
Negative.
It would be a negative number. Is 3 1/5 a positive or negative number? It's a positive number. Is it warmer or colder than 0 degrees Fahrenheit?
Warmer.
It's warmer.
I stand by it.
had so much faith that you guys were gonna be the class that would get it right. It's okay. All right, it's warmer. So that's technically our answer, but the math is the important part. All right, I've got another example here about interest. When you save for retirement someday, interest is going to be your best friend. Interest is fantastic. It is.
I'm gonna take money out of your like checks and you save it until you're old.
Yeah,
and
do
then when
it.
you get that money.
Start early. Save for retirement now. I didn't start until I was like 21, but start now. Okay. So you deposit $5,000 into your savings account, and that earns simple interest. After 6 months, the account earns $162.50 in interest. What is the annual interest rate?
You divide.
Use the formula I, interest, equals P, principal. What is principal? Someone know? Okay, not that kind of principal. Different principal.
But it's spelled the same.
It is spelled the same. It has a different meaning. Principal is your starting amount. It's your base amount.
Why can't you just divide it and see how much?
So my base amount is $5,000. Principal times my rate, my annual interest rate, and then time. How many years it's been sitting there. Okay? So, I equals PRT. I need to solve for R. I need to solve for my annual interest rate. All of these are just multiplied together, right? So, I'm going to divide both of these by P times T because it's all multiplied together anyways. So I can do that. So, I'm left with R, my annual interest rate, equals I, my interest in dollars, divided by my principal times how long it's been in there.
So you're just gonna like put the numbers in.
Yeah, we're just going to plug numbers in. That's why we do this rearranging, because then when we get to this point, we can just plug numbers in and we're good to go. Right? This is getting us ready for this problem.
We only have two numbers and there's 6 times 5.
Well, we have enough. What's my annual, or what's my interest in dollars? How much money do I have in interest?
$5,000.
How much money do I have in interest?
No, it's $160.
$162.50. $162.
That's what they took out of the $5,000.
No, it's not. This is what I gained from putting $5,000 in.
So the $5,000 is in your
Okay.
retirement fund?
It will be, yes. Principal, my principal is my $5,000. What's my time? How many years has this been in my savings account?
6 months.
Which is what in years?
Half a year.
Half a year. So I'm going to times it by 1/2.
Why don't you do 1.5?
What?
I don't know.
That's 1 and a half.
Yeah, I know.
I just need 1/2. Okay, now we just do it. We have to figure it out. 5,000 times 1/2. 2,500. What'd you get?
I didn't get anything.
Anyone? Lydia, what'd you get?
I got 6.5. I don't know how I got that.
Okay, you should have
I
gotten
typed in a different number.
you should have gotten 0.065. But so you must have just had some zeros in there. So this is my annual interest rate in a decimal form. What would it be in a percent?
Shoot.
No. 6.5%. So I would have a 6.5% interest rate, which you never will have, but
Is that good or bad?
really good
Why don't we ever have it?
because no savings account has a 6.5%. That's really bad. Okay. How does it feel?
I'm tired.
Okay. I got to the end of this in one of my class periods and they all looked at me and said, Ms. Wilson, I have no idea what you just said. Okay.
actually easier than last lesson.
Okay, so on your next page, there's some practice problems. We're gonna start doing some of these together because I'm nice to you. And then you should have had an email from me in Canvas if you haven't seen it already. So my other classes, I told them that this was homework, and I had lots of people email me and say this is too hard. I need help. And so we're gonna get as much as we can done tonight. I would like you to at least try some over the weekend, but I'm not making you do this over the weekend.
I'll try.
I would like you to try though. Can we at least have that agreement that I want you to try?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, here we go. 1 through 6. We're just going to do 1 through 12. Okay, so there's like 14, 15,
That's like all the
16.
easy ones. You're leaving us all the hard ones.
No. I'm only making you do 1 through 12 total.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. You can try the harder ones. Those are just tricky, and so I'm not going to bother right now. Okay. So, I need to solve the literal equation for y. I need to solve for y. Number 1. Y minus 2x equals 15.
You gotta divide.
I have one step and I'm done. What's my one step?
Divide.
It's not divide.
Plus 2.
What am I adding?
2x.
Okay, I'm going to add 2x to both sides. Y equals 15 plus 2x. Done. Finished. Don't need to do anything else.
Look at that.
Isn't it great?
Sure. Math is not great.
Okay, number 2 I'm going to let you do on your own because that's the same thing as what we just did. So let's look at number 3. This one throws people off sometimes because my y is on the right-hand side instead of the left-hand side. But we can work with it. So I'm going to look over here first. I want to get my y by itself.
Yeah, bring the 8 over.
I got to bring the 8 over. How do I do that, AJ?
Oh, I don't even know. Actually, I do know.
You do know. What is it?
You subtract.
I do.
the
I
8.
subtract the 8 from both sides. Negative 2 minus 8. Negative 10. So I've got 5x minus 10 equals 5y.
That's it.
Now what? I got one more step.
Now
What
you
do I gotta do?
5 by 5.
Divide by 5. Thanks, Allison. Divide by 5.
Alright.
So 5 divided by 5 is
Oh,
1. So I've just got x. Negative 10 divided by 5.
2.
Positive or negative?
Negative.
X minus 2 equals y. This says x minus 2 equals y. And we're done. That's it.
Can we do number 5? No, let's do number 6.
I think I'm gonna let you do number 6, and the rest of them you can handle. Let's look down at 7. I just want to give you examples, and then you can follow the examples, right? We learn by looking at examples. So let's look at number 8. No, let's look at number 8. Is there something
Now
common
there's x's and 9 and 3.
between the right-hand side of things? I'm solving for x. I'm going to ignore the 3 and the 9 for right now. What do I have in common between 3x plus 9x z?
There's
X.
x.
So that means I can take my x out, right? So I've got q equals x times, what do I have left then? 3
9z.
plus 9z, right? Now what?
You
Divide what?
have to divide the 3.
Ah. No, not X. 9.
You divide
Divide the
3
3.
plus
Do we,
9z.
there we go.
I'm sorry.
This whole thing stays together, okay? So I'm going to divide by 3 plus 9z, both sides. So now I have x equals q divided by 3 plus 9z. Now I'm done. Pick one more that you want to see me do, and then I'm going to have you do
The
the
last
rest.
one.
12. Okay. All right. 12. only doing 1 through
Doing
12.
those ones.
Oh,
We are?
Yeah.
jeez, alright.
Okay,
Well then,
12.
Go.
We'll do 12. I need to get x by itself. So what can I get rid of on the right hand side?
The 3x. No, you can't.
Now I want to leave the 3x there.
You gotta bring it. You gotta subtract 12 from both
Okay, I can
sides.
subtract 12 from both sides. That's a 12. So now I've got 3z. 8 minus 12,
-4.
negative 4, equals 3x minus z. Now what?
You. Give me a second.
Add z. I'm going to add z to both sides. That says add z. So 3z plus z is going to be a 4z. 4z
-4.
minus 4 equals 3x. One more step.
Divide.
By
3.
divide by 3. So now I've got x equals
4z.
4z minus 4 all over 3. Done. Finished. All right. We have another like 10 minutes. Try the rest on your own.